Hey, hey. Hello, hello. Okay. How's everybody doing? Let's get this over here. Okay. And let's take this off. All right. So we are almost ready to start. My name is Luba Carlson. If you have never painted with me, that's me. And let me see. I see somebody says hello. I have somebody from St. Petersburg. I have Sam. All right. So the normal kind of tradition is to find this broadcast and on my other screen so I can see your guys' comments and I know who says hello. So just give me one hot second, just 1 second, and I will be with you. Okay, we have all right. Here, I just want to make sure that I see you. Okay, I see me. I see you. I see me. Okay, everybody can see me. Now, if you're watching the replay, let me know that there will be, because there will be a replay. Okay, let me know if you're painting online for the first time. I would love, love, love to know that. And also let me know if you're painting with me for the first time. Okay, here we go. All right, I found everybody. Okay, I have Audra and I have Cheryl. Hey, ladies. Hope everybody's okay. And we will start. All right, so I in the supplies, I forgot to mention a couple of things. Okay, you might want to have some round objects, 3 sizes. So I'm going to use my painter's tape. I'm going to use, hi Tammy, first time you made it. Yay. Okay, so round objects, anything goes. Okay, I just have 3, whatever fits on your canvas or your wood board. Okay, so I have the just painter's tape that I will trace, and I have a lid, and I have a little medicine cup. Okay, just to make circles. It would make your life easier. Also, I really like using, this is just a seamstress chalk for this kind of stuff. It's really easy to remove off of acrylic. Okay, also, if you guys, I don't know, what are you painting? Who's painting? Do you have anybody who's painting on wood? If you're painting on wood, I hope you saw that you need to have it painted and sanded, right? I hope you did that. I will be painting on canvas board. I would not do this kind of painting on canvas, especially if it's your first go with this kind of painting, because canvas is very springy, right? And it's hard to scrape on it and create texture. So I would start with something that has backing to it, like something sturdy. Okay. All right. Give me thumbs up if this sounds good, and we will begin. Yeah. So I'm gonna just hop onto my desk view so that you guys can see what's happening. So that's step 1, and that's step 2. 2 steps to do that. Okay, I got the thumbs up for good sound. Very good. If anything happens and you lose me, you lose connection, I lose connection, stuff happens. It's been super windy today. We have, I think they said 55 miles an hour winds today. So if anything happens, I will finish filming the video and I will upload it into the group's guides. You will be able to have it. Also, if I do paint kind of fast. I go pretty fast because I do not want to waste your time. And if you feel that like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, I'm falling behind, you know, just please try not to get upset about it. Yeah, and take all the time you need. Just keep an eye on what's happening here on this desk, but also know that you can always go back and watch the replay. The replays will be available. Sam over here, I'm gonna start and show comments. Sometimes, do you live in Pflugerville? Yes, I do live in Pflugerville. Are we neighbors, Sam? Okay, Pflugerville is a town north off of Austin in Central Texas. For those who don't know, I live in Central Texas. All right, my friends. Okay, Marnie is ready. Okay, so on my side, it keeps telling you that the video is trying to catch up. So I hope it will catch up finally in a way that we can just work and not worry about that. All right? Mater, yay, neighbors. Neighbors. Neighbors, neighbors. Okay, very good. So for this is what we're painting. I'm going to show you real quick over here. So this is so I'm going to give you a little bit of a talk, so bear with me, okay? So why this painting pops and stands out? It pops and stands out because the background is done in warm tones and the flowers or the blooms are done in cool tones. So this is important to know and to be aware of. When I told you which paints to get, some of these paints are warm tones and some are cool tones. So the black and white, we don't even consider them colors really. They are our neutrals. So they go off to the side. We have lemon yellow and we have warm yellow. So this is our cool, this is our warm. We have cadmium red and magenta, quinacridone magenta. Also, we have cool, backwards, sorry. Magenta is cool and cadmium is warm. And we have phthalo blue, green shade, and we have aquamarine blue, again, cool, warm. Okay, so why I'm doing this is because I need you to decide which set goes on your background and which set you're going to use for your flowers. You can make a cooler background, which will make it look more like spring, and then put warmer flowers on there, or go backwards the other way. If we mix all of this up together and use all of this background and the blooms, we're going to end up with a brown mess with nothing standing out, nothing catching your eye. So either set for background. Okay, so since I already have a warmer background over here, I'm just gonna go with the cooler background. All right, so I'm gonna go for my background. I'm gonna use lemon yellow, quinacridone magenta, and phthalo blue. So I'm just gonna set them up here so we don't get confused. Can you see them? You cannot see them, but that's not important. This is important. What's important is that you can see my canvas, right? Another thing is, if you are painting on wood and you have already prepped your wood, you do not need to do anything right now. Just kind of give us a second to catch up. Okay, so if you just start laying your colors directly on wood, it will work just fine. Let me know painting on wood. If you're painting on wood, say wood. Okay, and then for canvas, what I would like to do, I would like to put a very, very thin coat of white. So just we kind of seal all of this texture. You see all of this texture on canvas that you have? So we will kind of seal it a little bit so that all the color that we're gonna put in, so that it will pop instead of seeping into your canvas, okay? So if you're painting canvas, okay, I'm not seeing anybody painting on wood. So that's good. Okay, if you're painting canvas, if you have a misting bottle, just go ahead and put a little bit of mist on your canvas. If not, use your medium size flat brush. Get a little bit of water on there, right? And just put a little bit of water on your canvas board so that your canvas also starts to wake up a little bit, because it is super dry at the moment. They do get super dry, and then the canvas soaks up your paint, right? And then you end up using much more paint than you needed to start with. Okay, I'm gonna grab some white. I'm gonna wet my brush. That's not the right jar. Sorry, I'm using my watercolor jar. That's not the jar that I use for my acrylic paints. This is my jar for acrylic paints. Okay, wet your brush, grab some white on it, and just really fast put it on. Do not overthink it. We do not need a lot. Just kind of, this will help the paint slide and glide and move nicely as we work on our background. Okay. If you have any questions about the process, about the technique, whatever I'm doing, pop it in the comments. I do look into that screen quite often, checking on you guys, how you doing. So as you can see, no rhyme or reason with my strokes, just applying. Just trying to cover the whole area right here. So I'm going up and down, back and forth on the diagonal sometimes, just covering this whole area. Okay, clean up my brush. What did I forget? I forgot to grab my paper towels. So we're gonna need quite a bit. So I'm just gonna tear a few right away because I know I'm gonna use them. I do ask, like, one of the things that I teach every single time is to rinse your brushes right away. Don't leave them sitting in your jars. Okay, I'm gonna move this over to the side where I can see it. It's kind of a reference. Okay, now this is a doing wood. Lynette's doing wood. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And she's prepped. That's wonderful. Okay, Lynette. So we're gonna get our white coat here dry. And starting from this point, the steps are all the same for both wood and canvas. Okay. So we're gonna dry. Doesn't need to be like dry, but kind of dry. You know what I mean? So this painting is abstract, which means that you can probably make something similar, right? But your results will always depend on your paint quality, on how much water there is in your paint. It will depend on what kind of palette knife you're using. It will depend on if it's cold or warm where you are, if you have high humidity, low humidity, if you have a ceiling fan going on. So there are so many different factors that will go into this. I am going to do my best to share my tips and tricks here. So just be patient, okay? Well, also, my favorite quote from Bob Ross, he said, it's going to look ugly before it looks good. Not to say that it has to look ugly, right? But just kind of go with the flow. All right, so I'm going to use my palette knife over here, and it's, I don't know, 3 inches. I think it's a 3-inch. Okay, my OCD kicks in. I need to know. Yep, it's a 3-inch. Does it matter? Not at all. You can use something smaller, something bigger, whatever you have at home. Even if you have an old plastic card, I use them a lot for this type of work also. So use what you have, okay? Now with the palette knife, you want to move, kind of push it in, okay? Like when we put butter on toast, you might want to apply enough pressure, like if you had maybe not frozen butter, obviously, but like cold butter, right? You would put a lot more pressure than if you had super soft butter, and then you would just go gently. You need to apply pressure. All right, so pick your first color. I'm gonna start with lemon yellow, and I am just going to directly put it onto my palette knife. And I'm going to start with vertical kind of strokes, I guess, right? Just vertical. And then I'm going to go back and scrape. Don't be afraid to scrape. Make sure nothing's in your way so that you can move freely. Lemon yellow is probably one of my favorite colors. There's lemon yellow and Prussian blue. Oh my gosh, I love those two. I don't know why. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. You want to make sure that you have a thin coat. So do not, because we're going to be adding a lot more, right? Don't feel like you have to put a lot on there. This is enough. Wipe it off using your paper towel. I also like to use baby wipes for this kind of thing. Next, I get my magenta, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just apply it to my palette knife, and again, not again, sorry. And this time, I'm going to go horizontal, okay? So first time I went vertical, now I'm going to go horizontal. Streamline is confusing. Sorry, I can't comment on your live, but just want to say thanks. Streamline, confusing. Streamline. You mean StreamYard is confusing? It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just, enjoy your painting. Don't worry about the software I use for this. It just makes it easier because, so see, I'm going horizontal. Just scrape. I'm using it because I'm going live in 2 locations. Wipe it off. I'm doing live in the group and on the page at the same time. And yeah, it just makes it possible for me to be in 2 locations at the same time. But it's nothing, you don't need to worry about it at all, okay? All right, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I'm not ready for blue in there. I might not ever be ready for blue in there, okay? So I'm going to probably grab a little bit of white. So this is a lot about play and not being afraid to try new things, okay? So I'm going to apply some white in some spaces, and I'm going to go on the horizontal again. Okay. English is not my first language, so when you hear me going like not being sure how to pronounce the word sometimes, and so I get excited and carried away, and then I forget some words, and it takes me a minute to remember what the words are. So that's the reason. Okay. I'm gonna want more of that lemon yellow. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, and I'm gonna add it on the horizontal. Oh, that was vertical, wasn't it? I just lied. Okay, more. Just more here and there. Add and move on. And move on. At some point, if you would like to, like, look, I have a lot of cool yellow going on, but if I add a little bit of warm yellow, it will add a little bit of contrast to my background also. So it might make my background very interesting, okay? I am not gonna add the third color to this. If I put blue in here, it's all gonna change into like brownish, greenish, purple-ish, and that's not what I want, okay? So the blue is gonna sit for now. Let's grab a little bit more of this magenta. Whichever direction you want, diagonal, do the waves. Like I'm gonna do zigzag from one corner to another to just kind of show you what it does. See, it's kind of fun. Added a really fun texture, and then maybe backwards over here and just stop. Okay, the idea is not to blend your colors in. Do not blend them in. So they layer. I'm gonna pull this up to the camera over here. See, the colors layer over here. Very cool effect, right? Just do not blend it in. We want each color to stay and have its own life. All right, let's get some warm yellow if you're with me with that. If you were doing backwards, if you were starting with the warm background, then grab some lemon yellow. Okay, I hope it makes sense and I'm not too confusing. Right? Okay, so I'm gonna add this to some areas. I do not want too much of it, but I'm gonna start scraping and picking and scraping and picking and just keep adding, just like that. Okay, you'll probably notice that if you scrape too much, your colors will start to blend, and this is something that we would like to avoid. Let's add a little bit of cadmium red to this. This is gonna pop. It's gonna be super interesting. Okay. And sometimes when I look at my painting, when I do background, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I just pick it up and turn it 90 degrees. And then apply more color, more different strokes, and move on, right? Okay, turn another 90. You never know what you're gonna end up with doing that. All right, let's grab, what do we like? What do we like? Oh, I really like how this warm yellow shows. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more. This is super easy, right? But you end up using a little bit more paint than you would normally use for this kind of for background. Here maybe, here maybe. Okay, I like lemon yellow. So we're gonna keep doing this until this background is full of color and we're happy with what we're seeing. So I want to get to the point where I have very little white. Don't forget the edges. The edges is something that we always forget. Like spackle, I love it. Yeah, it is like spackle, Janice. It totally is. Okay, I'm turning it another 90. Yeah, I want some bright magenta, and I'm gonna let's just play with it. Let's see where we can get, right? Okay, magenta, here we go. Maybe here, be here. So I just set it like this, and now I'm gonna go back and scrape it and see where this takes me. Cool. Super cool, super cool. Okay, and I'm gonna show you close by. See, it starts building the texture, just little by little, little by little. We don't need to put a whole lot on there. So I turned it again while we're thinking about what we're gonna do next, while we're thinking about, like, while we're loading the spatula, it gives it time to cool, to dry a little bit so that we can move on to the next thing. Okay, warm yellow. See, I'm just jumping between the colors and putting them on. Oh, it would be nice if I didn't put it on my hand, but that wouldn't be me if I didn't put it on my hand. So I'm changing my directions into angles, right? So that it's not all like square-ish. I'm almost happy with what I'm seeing here. I'm grabbing my baby wipe to wipe off my hand. Okay, doing good. Hope everybody's doing good. I have, oh my gosh, I didn't know how to read that. Debil, Summer. I'll just say Summer. Summer from Canada. Hello. Hello, hello. All right. So wipe off the knife, the palette knife. And let's, I'm kind of not sure. I need to think. What do you think? This way or that way? I feel like this is a little bit too heavy. I'm going to grab a little bit of white. Okay, come on out. And just put a couple of, see, like this, just hit. That was a little bit too much. We're going to take it back. Hit. And then turn 180. And then I'm going to scrape. Like from corner to corner and closer to me. Oh, I like it. Okay, I'm gonna clean the knife because it's dragging more color than I need. And now, like this over here, I think I'm going to push it the other way. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. That is awesome. I'm sorry, I get excited sometimes when I paint. Well, okay, not sometimes. I always get excited when I paint. But when these things happen, it just makes me so happy. Color, right? Color, color, color. Okay, so super close for you to see this whole beautiful mess that I created. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a good amount of lemon yellow, and I'm gonna apply it to the edges of my canvas because I do not want white showing. Okay, so I'm gonna put it maybe on the half of my, especially if my lemon yellow decided not to quit on me here. Come on, I know I have enough paint in there. So just on the tip, and just go and scrape it on. Whatever color you choose, maybe you choose to do this with your magenta or with your red. Whatever you choose, just go and make sure your edges are covered. You may even go, okay, my lemon yellow is not cooperating with me today. It doesn't want to. Okay, here's what we do when the paint doesn't want to cooperate. Before you do something like this, make sure your tip is closed or you're gonna have paint flying all over. So this kind of pushes the paint down. See, I have half a tube still here and it wouldn't come out. And so I'm just gonna roll it and grab a huge clip. Okay, and pray to God that it's not gonna just shoot at me. Ooh, see, now we have paint. Okay. Very good. Close. Okay. Go back. And this is why you want to have your table covered also when you do something like this, because this is messy. Messy, messy. Painting is always messy, isn't it? At least for me. Like the only kind of painting that I think is not messy for me, even though I still manage to make it messy, is watercolors. It's very contained. But like the other kinds of painting that I do, other kinds of art that I do, it's also messy. All right, adding whatever I had here, a couple more scrapes. Just to cover this up. All right. Okay, so normally we paint for an hour and then we have a break, but I really do not think that we would need a break today. This is moving super fast and this is super awesome. Okay, Jane's asking me what's the pic, what she's making. This is the reference. So we're making an abstract background and then we're gonna put abstract blooms on our background. Just got done with the background. All right, so let's grab that hair dryer or a heat gun, whatever it is you have. We get this dry. Oh my gosh, this is so sunny. I love it. I love the way it came out, and there is Oh, there is texture on here. You're welcome, Jane. If you guys would like to know what's coming, what's happening with my paintings, everything is scheduled. You can find that in the events. So you just go directly to Luba Carlson Artist page, or if you're in the group, you just go to events in the group, and it's all there. Everything that we're painting. November has been published. November calendar has been published already. So, and I even have the December calendar done, but I haven't published it yet. I need to. I don't want to put it out too soon because it's too long, like 2 months in advance is probably a little bit too long for everybody. But so what's everybody's, while I'm drawing, I can talk and read your comments. So what's everybody's favorite thing to paint for winter? I love snowman, and I love, oh my gosh, I love the cardinals. Whatever, like wintry landscape and the cardinal there. Ooh, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that it's dry enough. This is dry. Oh, that's not dry. Okay. And I have quite paint over here in this area, so I'm just gonna use my knife and kind of spread it out a little bit to just help it dry a little bit faster so that we don't end up spending the next hour drying the canvas. Linda says, only tried a winter scene once, didn't turn out. Snow defeats me. And Janice says, okra or sunflowers are my favorite thing to paint. Oh, nice. Yeah, I can get where it comes with snow. Snow is super tricky. Lynette says, snowy landscapes, snowman birds. I like to do anything cartoon related and incorporate the holiday theme. Yeah, oh, that's fun. Let me, yeah, it's right here. I'm gonna show you something real quick if you guys don't mind. Not that, not that really you can stop me, right? I mean, you can, yeah. I'm gonna show you. This is a little exercise I did when I was learning to paint snow and deal with snow. And so what I did was I used different colors and my palette knife, and I did different color winter. So I did the blue winter, and then I did, look at that, red and pink winter. And I think I did a purple one. Where is it? If I find it, I'll show it to you. It's not, it shouldn't be too far. Or maybe it is. It could be far away. Yeah, oh well. I know I painted it. But what this did was it really helped me see color, like, you know, like when you play with things like snowflakes. This is from last year. I did a lesson on that. Yeah, okay, so here it is. I knew I did a purple one. Yeah, I think the snow is tricky because we think that snow is white and it really isn't. Snow has a whole ton of color to it. And so if you do it, kind of, if you add color to it and then add a little bit of white to offset it, it's perfect. Okay, all right, moving on. This is dry, perfect. So composition, decide how many flowers you want and where you want them. I'm thinking I'm going to repeat what I did in the reference. So I'm going to put my largest bloom like smack middle in the top. And then I'm going to add 3 medium size around. See how they are 1, 2, 3 like this. Yeah, kind of almost a smiley face here. Okay, and then across from that, so you could even see it's like a cross, like an X here. Across from that, I'm gonna put 2 small ones. Yeah, and then we're gonna make some space for foliage and leaves and all of that. Okay, so this is my large bloom. I'm just gonna put it right smack in the middle, maybe a little bit off to the side, but not too much. A little bit off to the side, okay? Don't make it come exactly middle, but okay, I'm gonna use a different one. I have one that has blue in it so that I can see what I'm doing and you can see what I'm doing. Yep. Good enough. So here's my large. Got that. Now I'm gonna put my medium ones in there. And this is just to hold space for them, so I know what goes where. There's the second one. Okay, 1, 2, maybe a little bit up higher over here. 3. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up higher so that you can see. I hope you can see. It's very hard to see in this. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm gonna grab my little medicine dispenser cup, and that one's gonna help me create my circles for my other ones. This is they're probably gonna be smaller. They are gonna be a little bit smaller than the original, but that's all good. Okay, so we have, okay, we have our blooms. Hope you can see them. All right, so let's see. The one in the middle, the big one, is the white circle. So that's what we're gonna paint it. So let's start with that, and then we'll just take it step by step. So we're gonna need to grab some white paint. And I'm afraid I'm gonna need to do this shaking trick again to bring my paint down so that I can use it. Okay, quite a bit of white paint because I'm gonna use it also to block out the other ones. Okay. Let me see. Just checking if anybody had any questions. I think we're doing good. Okay, dampen your brush in the water. Put some white on it. Yeah. And just paint that circle white. Just one coat. Let this dry. So while this is sitting, we're going to move on to the second flower or bloom that is right underneath it, this one over here. And with this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a piece of painter's tape. And I'm going to tape off a part of this circle, like this. So here's my circle so that you can see what's happening, right? Here's my circle, and I taped off a piece because for this bloom, I want the circle that doesn't go all the way in. See? So it goes circle, and then over here it stops, okay? And it's not a semicircle. Again, white paint for this one. And just follow your line. And paint. Here we go. Okay. This is still wet. So we're going to rinse the brush. And we're going to create that dusty blue. So if your background is mostly warm colors, you want to use aquamarine blue for this one. If your background is, no, hold on, warm colors, cool blue. Cool blue would be phthalo blue. Okay, sorry. If you have a warm background, use phthalo blue. If you have a cool background, use aquamarine. Or just do what you do. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put quite a little bit of aquamarine. And I really like mixing my colors with my palette knife because then I don't need to just rinse them into the water to clean up my brush. Okay, so I'm just going to grab quite a bit of white and mix it with my aquamarine blue. Oh, pretty. So pretty. Okay. I don't always do this. I sometimes forget, and sometimes it's really much easier to with the brush because you just need a tiny bit, right? But sometimes it's easier to do that. Okay, so I just use my hand, but use your paper towel and like squeeze the extra moisture out of your brush so it's not super wet. I'm gonna grab another piece of painter's tape, and I'm gonna tape okay, so I'm gonna tape this flower over here on my right hand side over here. So I just tape just tape it off. Okay, and I'm gonna paint it this pretty blue color that we just made. You see, it pops against the background. It's just perfect. Perfect. Do not worry about making the right strokes and all of that stuff. In this case, it's all good. If it's easier to grab a smaller brush, grab a smaller brush. If it's, I'm thinking, why am I not turning this? It's not comfortable. If it's easier to turn it around so that you can see what you're doing and and you can apply your strokes better, then do that. Just have fun with it. Okay, I messed up a little bit, so I'm just going to extend my circle just a little over here to the side. Also, if you messed up a little bit, you can always grab a baby wipe. Yeah, not a big deal. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to keep my brush right here with my paint for just a second. That's not the greatest idea to do, but we should try. Okay, and I'm going to run my heat gun on the white and the blue. Just speed up the drying a little bit because we have a lot of paint on here. And if we don't speed it up and apply next coat, it's going to start peeling. That's not what we want. Okay, just a little bit more. Perfect. So the next flower blue one is this one on the very, very top. And originally it's supposed to be taped off. So I will try to tape it off. But on my painting right now, it's super close to the white one. So I want to be very careful with my tape and not to put too much of tape on it. Okay, so I'm gonna paint this small one. There we go. There, just as easy as that, right? Just paint it. Okay. This is not dry, not even close. Okay, adding more heat. I think I got carried away. I thought that would be able to finish it without having a break, and now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you know what? You guys probably would like a break, huh? Let me know how you're doing. All right, just added a more of the blue here and there. Gonna rinse out my brush. Okay, rinsed out. Got the extra water off. Okay, I'm removing the tape only from the blue ones, okay? Because I really do not want the tape to sit there longer than it needs to, so that it doesn't peel the paint with it. So we're just gonna do it this way. And then for the white one, I'm still keeping the tape here because I am still working on that one. So I want to add another coat of white before we have a break so that it would have a little bit longer time to sit and dry. So just paint both of them. And during break time, make sure to go to events and classes. Check out what else I have. They are both in the group and on the page. Maybe you have something that you would like to join. Be very light with your brush. You do not want to drag it too hard on your canvas or your wood, because if you go too heavy right now on it, you'll start pulling paint. And we do not want that, do we? Okay, so I'm pretty happy with my white. You might need to do another coat if you had, like if your white is watered down a little bit. Yeah. All right, so with this, I'm gonna spray it, just mist of water so that my paints don't dry out while we have a break. And maybe put a paper towel, kind of cover it a little bit so that, the paints don't dry out. And we're gonna have a 5 minutes break. I strongly recommend you guys to, before the break, pull off the tape so that this is peel it off. Okay, I strongly recommend a break. It allows your eyes to rest and reset, and it's easier to continue. I'm gonna put a little banner up for our 5 minutes break. If you're watching a replay, just fast forward 5 minutes. That would be easy, okay? And I'm gonna mute myself also and for real. So I'll be back. My time is gonna be 8:02. Okay? All right, I'll see you then. All righty. Okay, let's get back to this. I just put it on there, just thinking if somebody hops on Facebook and they see this and they're like, what is going on? What is she doing? Right? Oh, okay. Alrighty, so next steps, let's uncover our paint. All right, so we have a blue. So, oh no, we're not. This is too wet yet. It's not ready. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that blue and we'll come back to this. Also, I'm gonna grab a little bit of water on this brush and remove that fingerprint that I just left on there. Okay, so let's do green. And green is the yellow with blue. So we're gonna use that warm yellow, which is where? Which is right here. So again, I'm going with warmer flowers because I have a cooler background. If you have a cooler background, make your flowers, mix your colors from the cooler palette. Okay. Okay, so I hope this will work. So I have the warm yellow and I have aquamarine blue. So let's see what happens when we mix the two. And I'm using the big one and I like my small one, the small palette knife. Here it is. Okay, let's mix. So this is this is like military green, what I got here. I don't think I want that. Let's grab some white and grab some of this green and see where this takes me. Well, better. Very pastel, a little bit more maybe. So mix your colors, do not be afraid of mixing and making a mistake. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? You're out of a little bit of paint, but you have learned so much. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more of that yellow to this pastel green that I have right here. Oh yeah. Now I am liking what I'm seeing, but it's completely not like the colors that we used on the painting, right? That we used that are on the reference painting. But that is okay. If you want the exact same color that I have on this reference painting, this is emerald green. If you have like more colors that you want to just kind of jump into your stash and use that, emerald green is it's what I used on that one. I just saw said watching first. Yep, totally. That's how I do this. When I learn from videos, I watch first, and then I do replay, and then I do the yeah, and then I do this again. Okay, so let's paint our green. Isn't this amazing how I'm painting pretty much the same painting, right? But I'm using different set of tones and colors, and it looks completely different. And I just love it. I hope you like it too. I hope you're not upset with what you're seeing, right? Okay. Here we go. That is my green. And while I have time, I'm going to kind of create spaces for my foliage. For this, I'm going to use Okay, so this is part 2. Let's try it, because I lost my Wi-Fi and I lost my connection. But I'm trying to reconnect. I hope you guys can find me. Oh, okay. Hello? Okay, I see somebody's joining me. Okay, just find me, because I can't, there's no other way, sadly. So I need to... Okay, I'm waiting for you guys to join me. When I see you, I will continue. I'll try to. Okay, I see Cheryl. Cheryl, could you please, because I cannot connect to the group right now, because I'm on my phone with live. Could you please post in the group somewhere? Just make a post that I went live in the group. And that's what we're gonna do. Would you please do that for me? Okay, I'm trying to reset the camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, I'm afraid that if I get off of here and post something, I will lose this connection also. Oh. Oh, good. Look, and my Wi-Fi is back now. But yeah, I'm not gonna do this whole reset and everything. We're just gonna continue painting. Okay, I see people hopping on. Awesome. All right. Well, technology fails us sometimes, doesn't it? Sadly, we have to. Okay, so if you're on YouTube and you're watching and you're wondering what just happened, I lost my Wi-Fi and I had to reconnect and do just a regular live instead of StreamYard so that we can finish our painting. All right, so let's get to it. Let's keep going. I'm gonna use my baby wipes here. You can use a Q-tip or a damp paper towel, whatever it is that you like. And I'm gonna take that chalk off. And it's quite funny though, because I've been doing these lessons live for a year now, if not more. And I always talk about like what's gonna happen if you guys lose me, but I never had it actually happen until now. So that's, oh well, that's a learning experience, right? Okay. All right, so is this dry? This is dry. Okay, so I'm going to add a blue circle off the center of this main flower. So it's not going in the center, it's going off the center, and I just push the brush down like this and I just roll it in like that. Just kind of twirl it in your hand to create that circle. If you're not comfortable doing that, you know, grab something small and round that you can trace and trace it in. All right. Okay. Now those little green circles that we have, they need to dry a little bit. I apologize if this goes too loud, okay? Cheryl, thank you so much for helping me and trying to let people know where I am. Sadly, the people that were watching this on the page, they kind of stranded. But I will put the replay on anyway, so it'll all work out eventually, right? Okay, let's grab some white, add off center again, white circle, here, and a small white circle here. It doesn't have to be like a geometrically correct circle, because we're just gonna paint on top with like different patterns, and it's really not gonna show. So, okay, rinsing out the brush, grabbing some more of this blue, light blue that we have, just to kind of add a little bit more here in the center, because it doesn't look complete. It's like streaky. So I'm just kind of fixing it so that it's how I like it. Lynette's back. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, who else is back? Let me know who else is back. I know I had 12 people painting with me, and sadly I only see 5. So I'm afraid that I've lost. Yeah, like like I said, and the internet's back now. It's not. So I'm just using my phone. Whatever. Linda's back. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, and now I see 7 people found us. Wonderful. Wonderful. 8 people. Oh, yay! You guys are finding me. Yes. Awesome. 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 I'm glad. I'm glad. So I don't know what happened. I lost all the Wi-Fi, and that's how I do my StreamYard, because it goes through my computer. And so yeah, I lost all my connection in the computer. So since we lost each other and we found each other, I've added this circle here and the 2 white circles here and here. Okay, and I'm gonna start adding white places, let's call it that way, placeholders. Yeah, placeholders for the foliage. Okay, so I'm just kind of, I like to pretend, I pretend that the foliage, the grass or whatever, it starts at the bottom, and I just kind of pretend that maybe it will go over here, and I'll just give it this much space over here, just with white paint. Doesn't have to be anything super complicated, just a shape. And then I'm thinking maybe another one will go here, and this one will be like a heart shape base. So I'm just painting a white heart here, and then I'll use it as my base for the foliage. There we go, something like that. Okay, maybe something over here on the bottom. Let's see, maybe another heart, just to make it fun, right? This is going to be a little bit larger than the ones that I have in the original painting, because my brush is a little bit bigger. But I really wanted to try and do something a little bit bolder, right? So you can go with that, or you can make it smaller. Okay, do what you like. Okay, and I think we're gonna stop at this. All right? In the comments, let me know if you need for me to slow down a little bit, maybe, because we kind of lost about 10 minutes trying to locate each other, right? But now what we're gonna work on is the actual blooms, right? So I want to talk to you a little bit about what you can use to paint these. So the first thing that comes to mind is a small round brush. Yes, playing catch up, Lynette. Yep. So I'll just talk a little bit about brushes and what you can use for the flowers themselves, for the blooms, okay? And you can catch up while I'm talking. So again, a small round brush, that's a good choice. If you feel like with the bristles, sometimes, especially when we just start out painting, when we paint, we feel like we do not have much control, because there is like when you paint a curve, right, you might feel like your bristles go up a little, and like there's not enough control. Maybe try a round brush that has short bristles. You see, like this one has long bristles, this one has short bristles. This would work. This one's called a spotter, by the way. Yeah, a spotter brush. Okay, there's also liner brushes. Where do I have that? I just used them today. I painted something with them, and here they are. And I put them away because they're also my watercolors. So okay, the liner brush is even longer than your round brush. And your liner brush is really perfect for things like this over here, for dragging like a long stem, for this. Liner brushes, that's what you need, really. But again, whoop, there is nothing wrong with using whatever works for you. Also, if you're not comfortable with that, if you would like to have more control, the Posca Pins. This is acrylic paint pen. I like the size. It says 0.9 to 1.3 millimeters. It's not a fine tip, but it's a small tip. Okay, so this also gives you a lot more control, but why wouldn't I use it? I wouldn't use it because when it's dry, it looks flat. Okay, Audra, if you missed from the point where we lost connection, I simply added the white circles, the blue circle, okay, and then like this spot over here, like a teardrop spot for your foliage, a little heart over here for the foliage, and a little heart over here. Okay, so white hearts, white spots. You can do this with white right away, white, 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 and white, and then blue right here. Okay, I feel awful that my connection failed me, but I still don't have it back, so I'm glad I jumped on live this way, so at least we can finish painting. Okay, also I would like to mention that there is nothing wrong with Artist Quality Black, but I personally really like Deco Art Americana Black. The texture is just right. And most of the times I can use it just directly from out of the bottle. Sometimes I would add a little bit of water to it. Excuse me. We have crazy allergies here because of the super strong winds. But yeah, so this is something that I really like to do when I need to do like lettering and like, you know, like flowy lines. I really like to use that. Okay. I'm trying to think Do you guys have any questions about that while we're giving our friends some extra time to catch up? Also, I told you to maybe like as an addition, as optional addition, the gold Posca pin. So that's also good stuff. Okay, so with Posca pins, if you ever use them, make sure that you store them horizontal, never upright, always on a horizontal position. And you, as when you paint, when you use them, you need to shake them often. Okay, they last forever. I must tell you, I've had this set for probably 2 years now, and I still have it. I painted a whole table with them, and I still have my paints, and I only replaced, I think, white. I think white was the only thing that I ever replaced. All right, let's get to our blooms. So we're gonna need black paint, we're gonna need a small liner, round brush, or spotter, whatever you prefer to use. And we're gonna start. Will the replay have part 1 and 2? Yes, ma'am. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I will edit it together. I will put them all together in one video. Okay, it's too confusing to not do that. Okay, so about this. It's like, oh my goodness, how do I teach this, right? And this is how I'm gonna teach this. I'm gonna take this off for a minute, and I'm gonna set it over here, and I'm just gonna show you how I do this with a Sharpie on my cardboard first, okay, so that you guys can see the designs, what's happening there, because there is a lot going on, which might seem like a lot going on, but really there isn't. Okay, so this is a basic mandala design, really, and here, let me set it somewhere here so you can maybe see it. Okay, I'm running out of space because I had to change my camera. Okay, can you still see the design? No. How do I put it so that you can still see it? Oh, maybe here. Okay, I'll be drawing right here on the top, and this is the one that we're doing. Okay, so the elements are simple. Let's talk through the elements, and then you will see how easy it will come together. So the center is just a circle. Trying to see if you can see it. Yeah, you should be able to see it. Okay, then in that circle goes a dot. We can do it later or before or right away, you know. Anyway, okay, then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 little petals. This is how I do this. I go 1, I put marks, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. Okay, now this design, it's off center. So if you're not comfortable to doing that freehand, grab your chalk or your pencil, yeah, and kind of create that circle that will be off center. See what I'm doing here? Yeah? Okay, and then 7, 8. Sorry, didn't count right. 8. Okay? And then we're gonna just draw petals. 1, 2, oh, that's a little bit crooked. I'll need to. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that this doesn't happen, I'll show you what to do so it doesn't happen. Hold on just a second. So I mark the middle in between those 2 marks for the petal, and I go from the center all the way up like this, and then I know where my petal needs to go. From the center all the way up, this is where it needs to go. So here was my center, right from the center. If I draw this line over here, my petal should have been here, like this, like that. Does this make sense? Tell me if that makes sense. And then we add the inside to the petals, yeah, just like that. And then you add, I call it a rainbow, just a double arch. Okay? And then I go in between, so then it's going to be another circle that is again kind of off center, and I'm making it much bigger so that you can see what I'm doing. Here, let's, oh, and of course I taped the whole piece of cardboard. I taped it to the desk for the video so it doesn't move, and now I need it to move. Okay, so and here again, here's my center, here's the center of my rainbow, right? So I kind of eyeball, so you don't draw this line, you kind of look and find this spot over here. And then you add like a Hershey Kiss petal or something like that. Okay? Yeah. I think I'm making sense. Am I making sense? So let's try over here. We have the circle. We break it into 8 parts. Okay? Then we kind of mark an off-center circle. Then we find where each petal is. All right, so here we go, part 3. I got kicked out of my internet again. And then more than a year of doing these lessons on lives, I never had such problems with that before. So I will just sit here and wait for everybody to find me again. She will find me again 3 times a charm, dude. Oh my gosh, that's not even, you know, like, what is happening? What is happening? This is ridiculous, isn't it? But I'm sure that it's the high wind. It's, yeah, it's really interesting how here, like where I live, like, it's, you know, it wouldn't be even that big of a rainstorm, just like regular rain, not even a thunderstorm, and would lose power and lose everything. Heavy cloud cover. I don't know what's going on, really. Just strong wind, that's all that's happening, but for some reason it's just crazy. Okay, so I am not sure where it cut me off on this. So I'm gonna come back to this a little bit later. And again, yes, I will put all the videos together, and so that we have a nice cohesive kind of thing going on. I am so sorry that we have to do this and that it keeps happening, but this is nothing that I have any control over. So I'm just gonna go here and we're gonna doodle some flowers, shall we? So let's grab some black paint, get the whatever brush you're comfortable with, and I see that only 3 of you found the way back to me this time around. I don't know if I were taking a class, I don't know if I would be going back like this, so I appreciate you guys being back. I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and use my spotter. You know, why not? So just grab some of your black paint and let's do the, I call them dandelions. Maybe they're not dandelions, but that's what we're gonna do. So what I grab a spot off center, just put a dot there, okay, and then you kind of paint like parentheses kind of lines here and there. I'm gonna use the spotter for this flower, and then I'm gonna use the round brush for the next flower so that we can use all of this and show you how, see, like this one makes really thick lines. And just keep going. And another. And another. Another and another and another. Okay. And then we add dots, and for dots I just use the wrong side of my brush, the other side, the tip. Move your canvas over a little. How about this? Oh, sorry, whoopsie daisy. Yep, can't see anything anymore because the camera is up high and everything. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so dots. Grab the dot, grab the wrong side of your brush, just put some paint on it and add dots to your, I call it dandelion because it looks like dandelion. So I like to add dots at the top of the tips. So if you missed that, I used a spotter brush for this one. I am not thrilled with how thick they came out, so I probably wouldn't do that again. And just add nice round dots all around this. Okay. All right. Okay, next we're gonna do this one, and I'm gonna use the round brush for this one. So we're gonna paint the foliage. Super simple, super easy. Okay. So you just go in the top over here and you start with, you just push your brush down and then you lift, down and lift. And you get this kind of teardrop shape. And then you do that at an angle, down and lift. And you can even, if you want to add a curve to it, you can. So you kind of, you push the brush down, add a curve to it, and then come back up. To just something like that. I like to make them all different, because in nature it's all like, all leaves are different, so I don't feel like they need to be looking like they are, you know, geometrically correct. Okay, so just stop there. Oh cool, 5 of you found me, nice. I keep losing people. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now let's try and paint this baby over here. So just doodle, you know. It's just a doodle. So now I'm using my liner. I want to show you that you can use any of these. Okay, so I'm going off center and I'm gonna start with this circle. Just checking that my canvas is where you need it, yeah, so that you can see. And then we're gonna break it into 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm gonna use it to mark the middle of the petal, and my petals are actually gonna go out of this blue one. Okay, so it's gonna be my 1, it's gonna be my 2, 3, 4, 5. So I put it somewhat in the middle, in between the blue circle and the white circle. I put this dot so that I know how far my petal will go and where I want it. Okay, and then I'm just going to go up and to the side, and then again up and to the side to start with my petals, and then again to this dot all the way up to the dot, up to this one, and maybe it's easier to start on the top and then just bring it down. It might be easier sometimes. Here. And here. Okay, then we're gonna do the inside kind of petal. Just leave some white space. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to my black paint because my ceiling fan is running and it's drying out my paint. So I'm just gonna mix some and clean out my brush before I move on. So some more paint. Just don't push on your brush at all. Be super soft the way you use your brush. Super gentle. Because the more you push down, the thicker your line goes. Yeah? And you just want some paint on there. Okay. Now I'm gonna use these lines that are in between the petals, that are petal connecting, and I'm gonna extend the line all the way to where the white circle ends and mark. This is gonna help me mark my next petal. Just like that, going from the center, just extending. Okay, and so the next petal is, I call it the Hershey Kiss. You see the shape of it right here, right? It's like whoop 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 whoop. I don't know how to describe it any other than whoop whoop. But yeah, it's like a Hershey. So it's a rounded up, and then down and up. And then again, round up, down and up. They don't have to be symmetrical, because this is not that kind of a painting really. So you're fine. Up, just kind of make sure to bring them together. And again. Okay, this is probably a little bit too far, but this will work for the petal. This one will work. Okay, and here we go. There. Hi, Angela. Jenny says it's raining hard in the Midwest now, lots of wind. It looks like, yeah, looks like we get the weather, that kind of weather. That's just... So, for the rainbows, for the little rainbows, rinse out your brush completely, and you want to add paint to just the tip of your brush, like this. So you only have, oh, come on, focus, focus. No, not today, sorry. But there's paint just on the tip of the brush. And so we're gonna add the rainbows. Oh, okay. I messed up over here. I brought it to the wrong spot. I should have brought it to the petal tip, not to the between the petals. That's why it didn't work. Okay. Let's go here. So just add the rainbow. Okay, I'm gonna have to mark this kind of because I messed up. Okay, and then again with the tip, starting in the middle, we're gonna start with the biggest one because it's the easiest. Just with the tip of your brush, you're gonna do a petal like this, and it'll sit on your rainbow. And then you're gonna add another one and another one, and then you're gonna add them going the other way. However many you can fit in there, it's fine. And then we're gonna go back and paint in this white space over here. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, y'all, it looks like that it's gonna take much longer than we thought it would, with all like losing time and everything. Genesis lights are flickering. Yeah, it's kind of I will put the replay on there, so don't worry. Okay, again. Here and here and another one. So what I was saying was that it's taking a bit longer than than we planned for. So don't feel like you have to stay. if you have other things that you need to be doing, or maybe you really need to be in bed on time so that you can be at work on time. I will post the replay tomorrow, and you will be able to get back to this and finish. Okay. So yeah, this is how I do this. Just kind of add rounded around and around and around. My cat is trying to convince everybody that he hadn't been fed. Do not believe his stories. He has been fed. Okay. All right. Now rinse the brush and grab the wrong side of your brush and use the tip. So that's going to be a dot in the middle, and the dots are over there for the rainbow. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, let's do the same, what do we call this? The dandelion, right? Or maybe let's do this one first. Let's do this one first so that we don't, like, we can work around and we don't need to, we don't smudge anything, okay? So here we start with just a circle in the middle. Oh, I was gonna show you also how to do this with the Posca pin. So let's do that while we can, right? Shake, shake, shake. Push it on the paper towel to make sure that the color is coming. And then you just draw. That's as easy as that, okay? And then you add bigger ones. I've got 6 here. Maybe oh, and I landed into my thing. Of course I did. Okay, and then the longer petals, they kind of start in the middle of these rounded ones. So I kind of mark where the petal starts and then where it goes. Kind of round it up like this. And this one goes over here and they overlap. This one will be here. This one will be here. Here. And here. Excuse me. And then we add like teardrop shape in here. So like that one shape, and then the 2 leaves like this, and then again. Definitely much easier, definitely, and faster, right? But like this part here is whatever doodles make you happy, you can do this. And then just color it in. Just give it a shake once in a while. Well, not once in a while, quite often. Pretty cool. I love Posca Pins. So easy. But again, when it dries, it doesn't look like paint. Like, it looks different. It's still paint, but it looks like it was done more with like ink. So it just looks a little bit different. So depending on what you're going after, if you want, and then you can add your dots. In there, okay? I think I did this again, huh? Didn't move the canvas enough. Well, another tool that I like to use for my dots is a pencil eraser. Just make sure that it's a new one so that it's all, so it's not erased. So you can load that with paint, and it'll give you bigger dots, better, like bigger size, like that. And 3, yeah. And just dry it, clean it up right away, and you can reuse it over and over. And then you can use the wrong side of your brush to add smaller dots around. Okay, I am really rushing through. I need to slow down. Right? Okay. So I have an overlap here. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna put anything on that white, because that white is gonna have some things of its own. Okay. Now these two are the same as that blue one. So let's do that with what am I saying here? Oh my goodness, my nose is starting to run. Okay. Yay, allergies. Okay. Liner. Again. Pick a spot. And then just paint. See, this looks much better than the other one, I think. Lines are much thinner. Don't push too hard on your brush. Just paint them in. And then the other side. Just stop wherever the white stops. That's where you stop. Okay. And then this one also is this same kind of a plant. So here's my middle, here's my starter, and I'm and just, it's like painting the like I'm adding eyelashes to it. Just bring it all over there. Okay. And so for this bigger dandelions, I call them dandelions, they're not, but for these bigger ones, I'm just gonna use the pencil, the back of the pencil, that eraser thing that I just did with this flower here. And so I'm just gonna use that to make my dots. You do need to refill it pretty often. Okay, then some dots on the body itself. Okay, now let's put some on here. Here. Okay, here, here, here. In the middle, and then random dots here and there. Just fill up the spot, the space. Just fill it up. Fill it up with dots. There we go. This is so cute. I love this one. Okay. Let's grab our round brush and grab some black paint. And let's paint the leaves coming from the little heart. We're doing the same thing as we did earlier. Can you see me? Yeah. So same thing, just push hard and lift, push hard and lift. Again, push and lift, and maybe give it a little bit of a turn at some point, if you would like to. Just kind of there. Okay, now let's do, can you see this one? Yes, over here, the one on the bottom. Same around the brush. Oh, that was a lot of paint I grabbed. Okay. And just keep bringing it down to the bottom right here. Okay, we have one flower left. And that one I'm gonna do with my round brush. I cleaned it up because I just want paint on the tip. I do not want it to be too full of paint. So this one has like a circle in the middle, and then you just paint the same size circles around it, and you should be able to fit 5 of them roughly. Okay, and then you just add the same kind of petal that goes up. You can eyeball it, or you can do the same thing again with measuring. But I think that at this point you already can eyeball it. Okay. And rinsed my brush again. I'm gonna add some water to my black paint, and then clean my brush on a paper towel, and I use the tip, just the tips. And starting from the top, I'm adding 3 lines. 3? Yeah, 3 lines. Okay, and then on the side, starting from the bottom over here, 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And then over here to close, 1, 2, 3. And again, I repeat. Whoa, too much paint. I repeat the top, 1, 2, 3, and then the side from where the petal connects, 2 and maybe 3. So just play with it and see what you can fit in, because sometimes it's easy to fit things in like this, and sometimes they just do not want to fit, you know. Rinse. Grab the wrong side of your brush. We're gonna do dots again. So one goes in the middle here, and then we're gonna put a dot inside of each petal. Okay. And now we're gonna add stems. I recommend using either a round brush or the liner for this. Okay, and maybe add a drop or 2 of water to your black paint so that it moves freely for you. Okay, start at the top and then decide where you want it to go. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this piece of grass on the very top that we have. Here we go. And so I'm gonna start at the top, and I'm gonna connect all those leaves, and then grab some more paint and stop so that it doesn't go through the flower. Under and under here. Okay, now this piece of grass or foliage is gonna be connected, and it's gonna be curvy a little bit. So I want to make sure, even if it gets curvy, right, it doesn't go on top of any flowers. So skip all the flowers when you're doing that. This baby over here can connect to the foliage. Why not? This foliage goes down here. This flower is kind of like that. This flower is, oh boy, okay. has a little bit of here connection, and then goes over here. Just like that. Okay. This one is more at an angle like this. So we're gonna go here, here, and down here. Okay, this green flower is kind of hiding behind the white one, but it still needs a stem. So we're just gonna add it. And this little green flower is kind of right behind us, so we're gonna add a nice little stem with some movement to it. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, done. So, yeah, don't forget to sign your art. Don't forget to add it to the albums. Oh, I forgot to make the album, and I can't because I don't have the... Oh my goodness, never mind. Just post it in the group if you would like to share. I hope you had fun painting this one. And I will see you. I'll see you for the next one. I'll see you in the group. All right, have a good one all. Bye.